Hello. Hi, everyone. I am Dr. Toyin Ali. I'm the founder of the Academic Society, and welcome to our question and answer session. So, today I'll be answering your questions about graduate school. So, if you ever want to submit your own question, check out the link in the description in my Facebook group. Every single Monday, I leave a prompt for graduate students to ask me any of their grad school questions that I'll answer in my next YouTube video. I'm a couple weeks behind, so I have like 2 sets of questions to answer. Last week was my first week of classes, so I was very, very busy, and now I am just now having the opportunity to answer your questions. So thank you for joining me. If you are here live, if you have any questions that you would like to submit live, you're welcome to do that. I'll answer them after I answer the questions from my group. I also want to mention that today is the first day of the Back to Grad School Challenge. And so this is the challenge that I host for graduate students, where I share how to prepare for a very successful and productive semester of graduate school, including how to create a productive weekly schedule that's flexible, that you can repeat every single week. So I'm excited about that. I'm actually going live in my Facebook group at 5 p.m., so an hour after this time, to walk through the first prompt and answer any questions that you all may have had there. Okay, so if you have not signed up for the Back to Grad School Challenge, there's a link for it in the description of this video. All right, so let's start back August 7th. Robin asks, finding your academic support system if you attend school online. Now, this is very important. I actually did a video on my channel about how to make friends in grad school when you go to grad school virtually. So I highly recommend checking that video out. But making intentional relationships is going to be so important. So inviting your classmates for just like a get to know you Zoom chat, inviting your classmates for a Zoom chat where you study and just discuss what you've been learning in class, seeing if you can meet anyone in person. Maybe you actually live in the same town as your school or in the same town as someone else in your program. Maybe you can go out to lunch and meet each other. But what I would highly recommend, especially for those taking in online programs, even if you're in an in-person program, I highly recommend my program Focus. So Focus is an accountability and productivity program. We have these monthly planning sessions where we all get together on Zoom. We talk about our wins for the month. We talk about our celebrations, and we talk about what goals we have for the next month. And we plan it out using my project management framework. So we meet every single month. Also, in that group, we have a private Facebook group and we have a 24/7 co-working space. So students are in there every single day. I get the notifications. They're in there every single day working with each other. And that group has really become a community. They know what each other are working on. They know what goals each other have. They cheer each other on. They're there to support each other. So if you are having a hard time finding a community, I highly recommend joining my Focus program. And as a promotion during the Back to Grad School Challenge, you can now get Focused for 35% off. So anyone who registers for the challenge can get Focused for a reduced price. So there's a link to join the Back to Grad School Challenge in the description of this video. Okay, the next question is, should you dress up as in business casual if you are taking classes online and have Zoom classes? So I would say it probably depends on the department. So I am a mathematician. In the math department, no one dresses up. No one comes to class dressed up. Your professors aren't dressed up. People wear shorts and t-shirts to teach. Now, my mom is a professor in the business school. And when I told her this, she was like, are you kidding me? So she dresses up always when she goes to teach her classes. And I think it might be expected in the business school for the students to be a bit business casual. However, if you are on Zoom, you probably just need a nice shirt. You need the illusion of looking nice. Like I'm wearing a tank top and a cardigan. I could be wearing shorts. I could be wearing actual pants. I could be wearing pajamas. You will never know, right? I won't ever be standing. So I say it depends on the culture of your program. If you are in a program where things are casual, a t-shirt is fine. If you're in a program where things are not as casual, at least look nice on the top half. Okay, those were the two questions from August 7th. Now let me scroll up. There were some questions from August 14th. So here we go. So this question's from KJ. What's the best note-taking apps to use? I say I would recommend maybe two, and I don't know if they're really apps. So I would say Google Drive, right? So taking notes, maybe even having like a folder for each of your classes or a folder for research versus classes in your Google Drive. That way, wherever you are taking notes, those notes will be available anywhere because it's cloud-based. Also, I would recommend Notion. So, Notion is more for like organization, and I use it for productivity as well. I actually created some Notion templates for graduate students to use, and I talk about how you can keep track of all of your readings, and you can actually take notes inside of your reading databases inside of Notion. So, I would say if you want an all in one system, check out Notion and see if that works for you. But I think Google Drive is just fine. If you're like me, a mathematician, we're never like typing notes. We need to be writing things. I always wrote pen and paper, but a lot of my students will use a iPad. So Notability is a great app, and GoodNotes. I use GoodNotes personally when I'm writing solutions for my students from home. All right. The next question is how to obtain funding for non-traditional disciplines. All right, so funding is something that I would always start with your department. Like, what is the norm in your department? How are students funded in your department? So, in my department, graduate students are funded via teaching assistantships. So they'll be assigned to grade for other instructors. They will be assigned to teach courses. They will be assigned tutoring hours. And in exchange, they will receive tuition as well as a stipend. So that type of fellowship is very common for graduate students in my program. Almost everyone who is in the program is funded in this way. Some students get research assistantships. So perhaps a professor has been awarded a grant, and as part of their grant, they can fund graduate students. So you may ask around, ask the office, which departments, which professors have grants and are looking for graduate students to work on their research projects. Also, there are nationally funded grants. So a big one is the National Science Foundation, but I don't think they award students who are not in STEM, but you'll have to double check that. What I want to do is recommend a resource. So Dr. Emily Roberts, she has a podcast and a website called Personal Finance for PhDs. You can find it at pf4phds.com. Every episode of her podcast is about grad students, postdocs, and finances. So she has a lot of information. And specifically, she has this resource on fellowship applications. So I'm going to put a link here in the chat. I'm not sure if it will save in the comments, but I'll tell you how to find it verbally. Copy. All right, so if I put it in the chat, let's see what we got. All right, and then I may also be able to create a banner for it. 1 second, and I'll put that on the screen. So if anyone's watching, they can see it. All right, so here is her website, pf4phds.com. And on this, so pf4phds.com/fellowship application, this document is all about how to find, apply for, and win a fellowship during your PhD or postdoc. So she even has how you can get application resources, advice, examples from previous winners of fellowships, kind of like advantages that you may have or may want to put in place. She also has information about when to apply for fellowships, where to find fellowship opportunities with links, and she lists different fellowships that you can apply for. So, for example, the first one I'm looking at is the American Association of University Women Dissertation Fellowships. And this is available for any U.S. citizen or permanent residents. The applicant must identify as a woman for current PhDs who will complete their dissertations between April 1st and June 30th. All right, so this one, it doesn't have like a discipline specification, but it is for women. So definitely check out this website from Dr. Emily Roberts, Personal Finance for PhDs, and you'll find a lot of details there. Okay, the next question I have is for, that was the last question. All right, so that was the last given to me question. If anyone is here and has a question for me, just let me know, post it in the chat, and I will answer it. Thanks for joining me today. And if I answered your question, hopefully my answer was helpful. Also, if you were here and you heard my answer and you have something to add to it, definitely go to the comments of this video and leave your recommendations. That way, when other graduate students come in and watch the video, they can get your advice as well. All right, are there any final questions before we go? While I wait, I will remind you that the Back to Grad School Challenge starts today. I will be going live in my Facebook group literally in 45 minutes to answer any questions about the first prompt for the Back to Grad School Challenge. Also, people participating in the Back to Grad School Challenge will get a little discount from my program, Focus. We have our next planning session this Saturday, so that'll be exciting. All right, if there are no additional questions, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you in the next one. Bye.